Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon, and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. And as always, thank you for all your support, including sharing, chatting, liking, and subscribing. Now roll that famous logo animation! Good evening and welcome back to Computerized Start Live. I'm your host, Justin D. Morgan, and it is Monday. It's Monday evening. It is Monday evening and I started on time. What is this madness? Would call it Monday madness. But then the dinosaur might eat me. That would be madness too. Alright, let's see here who we have in the chat. We have Mike's Future Retro. I'll be around later. Currently out for dinner at Applebee's with the woman of the house. We're celebrating her 17th anniversary of her 21st birthday. Well, happy birthday anniversary to her, and enjoy your dinner. We'll see you later. And we have Callan. Hi, Callan. We have GeoHam. Hi, GeoHam. GeoHam says, this should be a mess of regrets. Oh, you know it. I got a pile right on the bench. We have Hardware Hacker. Hi, Hardware Hacker. We have Thomas Armstrong, the Wheel of Regrets. Yes, we have regrets. I've got them stacked up. We have I-8386SX. Hi, Jesse. And we have Mega. Ahoy. All right, we got the coffee goal. Link is in the description. Helps to go towards capacitors. Because talk about the madness I have is things that need capacitors. Of course, there is also this other madness. And let's just cut to the chase.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our favorite segment, Wheel of Regrets. Here's your host, Justin D. Morgan.
Hey, who comes up with these titles anyway?
All right, and as I said, I have a stack on the bench, and the first item is... Hold on, I've just noticed something. Okay, so we have 3 potential regrets on the bench, and they are all from eBay sellers in California. So, hi to all my eBay sellers and viewers in California. Hardware Hacker says, I love the pile of boxes in that animation. Yes, I found that on Adobe stock and knew it was the perfect one. Jesse says, and it looks like a tornado went through my shop. Alright, so this first item here comes to us from Memory Masters. And it is not memory unless you count the level 2 and level 3 cache. Yes, that is why I bought. Alright. So I'd been watching this item for a while, and when I realized that they wanted only $12 with free shipping for it, I went ahead and decided to get it. And this is an AMD K62. So not the Plus, but just a K62, 533 megahertz. So pretty neat. So we will leave this factory sealed. Although actually it's probably Memory Master sealed. But, oh no, Jack, we're in Wheel of Regrets. You have not missed it at all. Hi, Jack. We have Gut Bomb. Hi, Jason. Gut Bomb says, Mario DVD Morgan. Haha. Yeah, K6. Nice. And it was well packaged. And quite affordable at $12. So, we'll check this out on a future stream. I think it's a, I want to say it's a 95 megahertz front side bus times 5.5 multiplier. It is kind of an oddball Super 7 processor. Oh yeah, the numbers in the chat, it depends on how many your how often you're chatting. So anyways, the next item is also from a different seller in California. Not Memory Masters. I have to say the box, when I saw that, I'm like, oh no, what have I ordered? Then I looked at the box they reused, and it's from some beauty company, and I realized, oh, this box could have had bath bombs in it. I hope they didn't send me the bath bombs, because that would be a regret. Yeah, Jesse says, as Jesse puts it, you have to blah, blah, blah for more numbers. Yes. YouTube's gamifying everything. What do we have here? We have shrink-wrapped cardboard. My favorite. Oh. Oh, there we go. Slight punishment for opening it upside down. No doubt. Let me see here. I will turn it right side up. Anyone want to guess what this might be? You are welcome to in the chat. Jack says, someone went a little nuts with the cling wrap. Yes, they did. Jack says, I think that's the M0116 keyboard that you're owed. Well, no. Callan guesses keyboard. I have to say Callan is closer to the guess than Jack. You were a bit too specific. Jack's guessing a VIC-20. All right, got bomb incoming. If that's a VIC-20 in 3, 2, 1. No, it's not a VIC-20, fortunately. Mega says a VIC-420. Is there an update on the keyboard situation? The seller says they're sending it. I will believe it when I see it. I should probably look at my incoming packages to see if they happen to have mailed me anything. But they claim they're going to send me one. So, as you can probably tell, this is not a VIC-20. Unless they spray painted it and, made it look like a different computer entirely. Jack says it could be a black VIC-20. Hardware hacker, VIC-21. Well, there you go. Thomas Armstrong says Atari ST. Nope. Nope. Wrong platform. It's not Atari. It's not Commodore. It is a Yamaha music computer. Oh, but wait, there's more. Call now in the next 10 minutes, and we'll give you the Japanese keyboard absolutely not free, because I had to pay money for this. Just pay for the minimum bid. Because you might have noticed that's not a CX5M. This is a CX5F. And that is the Japanese keyboard with a little bit of damage that I can probably repair. Plus separate shipping and handling, yes. So, yes, free Ginsu knife, yeah. Oh, that's cool. I think this is the first one that I've received that actually had the rear slot cover and the parallel port cover and both joystick covers all still on it. That is amazing. Those keycaps up top look hard to replace. Well, here's the fantastic thing. I believe all of these Yamaha music computers have basically the same keyboard underneath, I think, hopefully, theoretically, But for sure, I have these keycaps on a parts keyboard. Yeah, that's backspace. I'm pretty sure I have an F1 and an F5 key, so I'm not too worried about that. Now, replacing the rest of the structure that's also missing along with it, that could be a bit more difficult. But I at least know I have these keycaps, and I am certain these are the same on the US keyboard. But without taking too much time to look, I just bought this because it was auction format, and it was down to the wire, and no one was bidding, no one was bidding, no one was bidding, and then I bid, and no one else bid. And I was kind of amazed. There were 17 people watching it, and I was the only one that bid on it. Bum says, politicians use that key a lot. You know, I am curious if I was correct in the keyboard layout, so let's pause for a moment while I go grab a CX5M. Oh, something I've noticed right away is I think the one for the US market is heavier. And it has a grounded plug. All right. Okay, I do see there are a few differences, so I may be playing a bit more with the trying to carefully replace the plunger assembly. But anyways, yeah, the function keys look similar. I'm pretty sure I can swap the function key keycaps. Yep, I'm pretty sure that's similar. It's going to be the plunger, and if I can carefully get one of those plungers out, then I can probably, because I've got a parts keyboard that can probably sacrifice a few plungers for the cause. Hopefully I can find a way to glue it in there and fix the keyboard. Jack's asking, why did you buy another one? Well, that's easy. I have a Japanese game for MSX I've never been able to play because I have yet to fix my Japanese MSX computer that is not a music computer. So when I found this Japanese music computer, it seemed appropriate that it be the representative Japanese MSX machine for playing my currently one game that I can't play. And no, I can't read Japanese, but yeah, it is a giant enter key. I will give you that. Oh, I see what fooled me. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I just noticed something. So, there is an extra long shift key. But notice the enter key is, like, really weirdly shaped. And there's a do nothing key on the American keyboard. What's the chances that underneath on this keyboard yeah, Jack says reading Japanese is a problem for later. Yes. Hardware Hacker says sounds reasonable. Yes, I get it now. So anyways, And it does have the music cartridge, and it looks like someone's probably been in the power supply. But there we go. We are not going to power this up because I would have to go find my AC adapter because it is 100 volt. Actually, weight-wise, I think they're about the same weight. There may be a scotch more shielding in the US unit. Anyways, there we go. A Japanese MSX computer that I'm hoping works. Yes, yes, the plug is the same. Although the US market MSX, or at least the Yamaha Music computer, had a grounded plug versus non-grounded for the Japanese one, but that's okay. All right. So, very, very cool. I wasn't planning on buying it, but it showed up, and I think this is the first time I've seen the Japanese version show up. Or at least in the US. So someone had already imported it, apparently. I'm hoping that once I actually get into the Japanese one, I'm hoping that maybe I might find fixing it'll be easier than I'm afraid it might be, but anyways, and then for this final item, before we get to the LCD screen, which is a potential eBay regret. The seller did say it was new, but this isn't the LCD screen yet. So this last item also comes to us from yet another seller in California. I can't make this up. 3 sellers from California in one night. And this did get shipped priority mail. So I'm hoping that it survived better than the last subscribe and save delivery arrived. It was more like subscribe and we didn't tape the box well enough, so it all fell out somewhere. Oops, sorry, our bad. Here, we'll give you a refund. You'll just have to contact customer service because the items that got damaged in the box were non-refundable. So, of course, we're going to have to make you chat with an agent that will be more than thrilled to give you the refund that you need because we get it that the box came open in shipping. But, well, okay, I digress. Yes, we have another dubious purchase. So we have what some people might consider a laptop. Thomas Armstrong says, poor box. Yeah, Jack says, those styrofoam bits are going to be all over everything. And too late because I got a fan blowing, so they're already blowing that away. But yes. Oh, there we go. But wait, there's more. We have a numeric keypad. Thomas, hardware hackers guessing Toshiba satellite. Thomas Armstrong says, turn the fan up faster. We have a power cord. We have a shock hazard. A risque de choc. A warning. It looks like it's got electrical tape sealing it shut, so I have a feeling someone's been in here. Yay. Oh, we've got styrofoam, because why buy styrofoam packing peanuts when we can break styrofoam up and make our own and make a mess in your basement? Yeah. Gutbomb says, wait, that wasn't even... Wait, that wasn't a VIC-20. Yeah, Thomas Armstrong says, I like the shock hazard they are illuminating. Hardware Hacker says it's a VIC-19. All right, you all haven't even guessed what laptop it is. All right, we will have to open that, inspect that before I plug it in. Maybe the power cord's fine. That is the most genericest numeric keypad. I'm thinking it does go with the system. I hope. Thomas Armstrong's going for the safe guess. A black laptop. Hardware Hacker says it's an 11C laptop. Yeah. I like how they left the branding low key. All right. Jack says, ha ha ha. Yeah. There we go. A KLH laptop with the teal blue accents on the keys. If that reminds you of another computer I have from KLH. All right, so let's see here. Obviously, we got it. Oh, there we go. So we've got the DCN, which we'll plug that in momentarily. We got our brightness and contrast, so this is going to be a passive matrix screen. Also, spoiler alert, it's black and white, so don't get all jealous here. There's where the keypad plugs in. On the back, we have an expansion port, which I have no expansion dock. We have what I'm presuming are power contacts for the expansion dock. We have external keyboard. I am looking for a spudger so we can carefully open the two. All right, I will use the, oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. That's the VGA, monitor, and serial port, and there's the switch for external or internal display. I'll go ahead and leave that cover off. And then I think this one here is the parallel port and external floppy drive. Hardware Hacker says, this thing is quite a monster, but not as monstrous as the Mac Portable. Yeah, there it is. And a floppy drive. And external keypad, which is actually a pretty nice addition. And then we have this thing that, yeah, someone's definitely been in here, and we're going to just take a quick peek. So don't open power supplies if you don't know what you're doing. They contain shock hazards. They may also, if someone's been in it before that didn't know what they're doing, it could have other hazards. There could be a golf hazard in here. I mean, it would be the world's smallest golf hazard, but there could be a golf hazard in here. There could be a spider in here. There could be two spiders in here. There could be no spiders in here. We're going to think about the no spiders in here. All right. And it looks like the feels like it's caught on something, but I don't see. I don't exactly see what I'm caught on because there's no LED. Okay, there is a fuse in here. The fuse is not blown. I don't see any electrolyte right offhand. Oh, okay. I see what we're caught on. 3 of the 4 standoffs are broken. So I think to get this out, I need to remove the screw that is in the standoff that is not broken. Oh, actually, oh, I see how it was supposed to be disassembled. Someone didn't know the secret's been in here. Yeah, apparently all you had to do to get in this power supply was remove the feet from the bottom, and you would have had easy access to the screws. And someone at some point did not do that. And instead, they brute forced their way in and broke. Oh, well, it looks like the standoffs really weren't that high of a quality anyways. Well, okay, I got the power supply out. Yeah, Johnny 5, no disassemble. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to glue that back together. It is a Feihong brand power supply. It does not smell like fish. I do not see any reefa capacitors in here. Okay, there's one of the safety caps that is not a reefa. Alright, it does look... It does look like it's probably safe to plug in. Alright. I have a feeling someone opened it to inspect it and broke plastic in an attempt to get in. I'd look at the auction photos. I have a feeling the power supply was probably open before the auction photos were taken, but I could be wrong. Hardware Hacker says, Magic Smoke in 3, 2, 1. Thomas Armstrong says, old Bic pins are fantastic spare plastic parts. Alright, well, there we go. The power adapter is plugged in. I will plug it into the AC cord, which is not turned on at the moment. Again, don't do what I'm doing if you don't know what you're doing. Yep, Jack says, oh, so we're just plugging it all up. Yeah, I don't learn these lessons easily. Also, it would probably help to know what the seller took photos of, so... Alright, so anyways, right plug on. Alright, the AC adapter has power. The laptop is showing DC voltage. And 3, 2, 1. Hope I don't short out the keypad. Well, I hope not either. Alright, let's see here. Haha! Oh, it looks inverse to you. Yeah, the eBay seller showed it powered up, so in reality, I figured it was a lower risk thing to do because they'd already tempted fate to show it powered up in the auction photos. Oh. Alright, Control Alt Escape for setup. Oh, alright. Angle of camera. I know. I'm trying to improve things. Hold, please. I am trying to flip the world's most awkward switch here. Oh, the video is still out of range. Okay. Well, let's try this. Arg. I was going to try to show it to you on external video, and my multi-sync monitor is complaining about the sync rate. Alright. Alright, fine. I will drain my cell phone battery in an effort to give everyone a better view of the screen. Maybe it only works external when you're actually in. There we go. So yeah, screen looks like it's in reasonable shape. Oh yeah, notice. Oh, hi, Francois. Welcome. Yeah, it's a 386 DX33. 4 megabytes of RAM. The matching keypad. And I'm trying to get into setup. There we go. Let's see here what it might like. 7. Oh, how do we change this? Oh, space to change value. Oh, there we go. 07. Oh, numlock. 07. It is 21. 25. Oh, hold on. 2025. No, it did not like that. All right. So all right. 07. No. 07. 25.99. There we go. It took that. All right, we'll leave the time there. Diskette A, B, yep. Oh, is there a hard drive in here? Ooh, that would be nice. Speed select, coprocessor none. The F10 save and exit. 5 for an update. Yeah, it's probably not Y2K compliant. Oh, there we go. If we get into DOS, we can probably set the time or set the date. Error encountered initializing hard drive 0. Alright, and I don't think I've got a DOS disk handy, so anyways, there we go. Oh, this may have cache memory, because it looks like there's a cache controller. I guess F1 to continue. Maybe it'll show us a report. No, it wants a system disk. Well, it needs something. I don't know where the hard drive is, so anyways. Alright, there we go. That is the KLH Is there a model on here? I'm not sure there was a model on here. Oh, KLH 386 DX33. Very, 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 very fancy model number, model name. Hardware hacker says, "Me thinks the hard drive is inside." Well, it could be. It could also be that someone removed the hard drive. But yeah, there is a chance it is inside. I just don't know how one gets to the hard drive. I will do one thing here. Let me go look at the eBay photos. To see if they had the keyboard off. Because it could just be there's two screws on the bottom that might be holding the keyboard in. Somewhere I thought I saw. Hold on. KLH. Let me search. No, maybe not. Maybe it was another listing. Might have been another listing. Plot twist is in the keypad. Ah, that would be funny. Francois says, "I prefer my Vanda notebook." Yeah, it's 33 megahertz. 386 DX. I mean, there are... Okay, I'll tell you all what. I know you all came here for the gateway profile. But there are two screws on the bottom. Maybe that will allow the keyboard to lift up. And if that allows the keyboard to lift up, we can see if there is a hard drive. Hardware hacker says, "I have a DX33 in my hand right now." Cool. Oh, there we go. That... Oh, the keyboard is loose. I don't know what it's caught on. Could just be... Oh, friction. It's just friction. Okay. Plot reveal in 3, 2, 1. Oh, it's a Connor. It's probably a goner. Oh. I do like the masking tape, though. That's quite interesting. Why would someone put masking tape there? Are these actually screwed in? I think it's a Connor. Oh yeah, there. It's a Connor CP4044. And it... There we go. Let me unplug the keyboard. And I don't know how it attaches. Oh, and oh, that would be. That's Geoham from the color. It looks original. Attaches with chewing gum. Yeah. Um, Jack says it's structural tape. Okay, so I believe there are screws under the feet on the laptop. All right, let's. I am curious. I would at least like to know what kind of hard drive. Yeah, there's now a visible break in the structural tape because I broke it so I could see if the hard drive was going to maybe just simply free itself. It seems like there's got to be screws under here. I can almost see the indents. Jack says, don't remove the screws how it was done on the power supply. No, I don't intend to. I'm trying to pry up the feet, but I think I will just save that for another day when I can spend more time opening it, trying to get the hard drive out. Because it looks like it's a pair of ribbon cables connecting here. I wonder if this is one of those Connor hard drives, like compact, shipped in the LTE 8086 and 286. Because if so, Jesse says, I had a couple Connors just work to this day. My guess is those laptops are stored in perfect conditions. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to stop while I'm ahead tonight. And I'm going to put this back together. And I will investigate what kind of adapter I might need. Jesse says, I know it's non-standard. Header looks bigger than the LTE 286 drive. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is because I can't see the. Oh, actually, there's one other thing I'm going to try because I think I can try it. There is one screw I can see here. I did realize I wanted to remove the screw just in the case that this one screw is maybe holding. No, that's holding. Oh, someone has removed two screws. Oh, no, those are the keyboard. Ah, okay. So I bet if I can get. Jesse says, forget my header comment. All right, it has been forgotten. Hardware hacker says, remove screw, laptop falls apart. Okay, I think I know what I need to do. And we're going to have a separate stream for it because I'm going to have to very carefully remove the feet from the laptop. I believe to get the hard drive out. Hi, Frogman, welcome. We will need to remove the feet from the bottom of the laptop, and then I will probably be able to take 2 screws out that I better holding the back one. Plus, and that will let me free the bracket, because the hard drive bracket is tucked underneath these 2 points here. Plus, that'll let me remove the feet from the front that I believe is screwed into the bottom of the hard drive using those screws. Because I think it's using the side screws on this metal bracket here that you can just barely see. 2 screws in from the bottom on the under the feet. And then I should be able to remove the drive and we'll be able to see what it is. But for now, because this is a Gateway Country stream, we will take a look at this later. So anyways, this is the KLH 486 DX33 laptop with 4 megabytes of RAM and a monochrome screen. Actually nice looking for the age of the laptop. A nice looking monochrome screen. And you might be wondering, Justin, what did you pay for a laptop like this? Well, some people would pay $599.99 for a laptop like this, but no, I didn't pay $599.99. I didn't pay $499.99. I didn't pay $399.99. I didn't pay $299.99. I didn't pay $199.99. I didn't pay $99.99. I didn't pay $88.88. I didn't pay $77.77. I didn't pay $66.66. I paid $55.55. I didn't ask you, Cap measuring device. $55.55 total. That includes the shipping. Yeah, I had to laugh when I saw the total. It was yeah, the total was $55.55. No kidding. Don't know how I managed that total. That usually never happens. And that includes $30.50 for the laptop, $23.43 in shipping, and $1.62 in tax. And yes, I was making fun of all those late night infomercials that give you some unrealistic high price and then tell you all the prices that you won't pay and then one that you will pay. So anyways, because they lowered the price a couple times. So when they lowered it to $30.50, that finally met my hardware hacker says, I see what you did there. Hi, Mike. Welcome. All right. So we will have to have some fun with this laptop later. Mainly, I'll have to, we'll have to further investigate the hard drive situation. Anyways, I will, I do have the plastic pieces from the power supply in a plastic bag. I will find some tape to tape these to the power adapter and also tape the power adapter closed so I don't lose pieces from inside of it should any fall out. And we'll also make sure I keep the keypad with it because that is really neat. Hardware Hacker says, but wait, there's more. You order now, you get the numeric keypad, a 2222 value. Jack says, I know where you can find some tape. Yeah, you just have to take it back apart. Oh no! Capcom says, I just uploaded my new video to YouTube and they found copyright issues with some game music. So now I've edited the video to replace that music and have to wait through the upload processing phase. Did I get the matching trackball too? No. It did not come with the matching trackball, and in fact, I'm not sure if it came with a trackball, because I think it only has a serial port. I was just glad it had the matching keypad, because usually this gets lost or sold separately for extra profiteering. But anyways. All right. And and the thing is, I'm glad this survived shipping. Okay, the power adapter looks like it was opened by the Hulk, but at least the laptop survived shipping, so there's that. Let me go set this off to the side, and I guess we'll go grab the last item here. Which comes to us from an eBay seller in... Oh. Hold on. Wow, they're not making it easy for me to show this without showing my address on the screen. Thanks, eBay seller. Yeah, they've got my address label on both sides. So let me, oh, here's what I'll do. I will open the box. And fold the flap to where my address is not showing. And then I'll find they've probably printed my address 40 bazillion times on the inside. There we go. So this comes to us from an eBay seller in Texas. Frogman says, I love it when sellers just sort of wrap items you buy and it bounces all around in the box. Yeah, you thought I was going to say California, but this one actually came to us from Texas. And this item I have to thank Joe of Joe's Computer Museum, because he bought this item, basically. Because I was hemming and hawing about buying it. And he was like, well, I'm just going to, I'll buy it for you. So this is supposedly a brand new LCD panel. Jack says, anti-static wrap instead of the previous package with its pro-static packaging. I know. Anyways, we have... Trying to open this carefully, and then I'm going to set it off to the side until I'm ready for it again. Although I do believe it's got some protective plastic on it. Yes, it does. So there we go. It is one brand new LCD panel. The only thing that we'll have to do is we will have to remove this board here and replace it with the one that's on the back of the panel from the gateway, because whatever this was for has two connectors, but the gateway has one connector from the logic board. But as Joe noticed, these connectors appear to be the same. It has the same backlight connectors. It's nearly the same panel number. In fact, the difference in the panel number probably just has to do with the board that's on the panel. So, in fact, oh, the other thing we do have to do, we will have to transfer the mounts from the other monitor, but it appears to have the same mounts. Yeah, it looks like I dropped a few frames. Comcast being Comcastic. But anyways, so thank you to Joe from Joe's Computer Museum for making sure that I could enjoy my gateway with a new LCD screen. But before we can even get to the point of installing the LCD screen in the computer, we have to recap a board. So yeah, if Joe would happen to join the chat, make sure to thank Joe for this. And you might have noticed I marked this live stream as sponsored. That was just because of the cost of the panel and its centrality to the live stream. I erred on the side of caution and marked the stream as sponsored. Since Joe does run Joe's Computer Museum where he sells stuff. So I thought I would err on the side of caution. That's the person that, depending on how someone at YouTube might be feeling that day, could consider them a sponsor. So anyways, I marked the stream as sponsored. If you were thinking I was going to play some embarrassing advertisement halfway through, you don't have to worry about it. That's why I marked the stream as sponsored. Just to err on the side of caution due to how much these panels cost. And it being more than usual tips on a usual stream, and the fact that Joe runs his web store. So that's it. I just thought I would be upfront as to why I marked it as sponsored when I got to the appropriate point. So yeah, make up an ad for jcm-1.com. Yeah, I think I just did. Will Jr. 880. Hi, Will. Look at all those reflections. Do you have RTX turned on for the stream? I would if I had an RTX card in this computer. All right, so I am going to set this off to the side where it will not fall over, get dropped, etc., etc., etc. I will set it on top of my Performa 600. So if I misplace it, there, I just put in the stream where it's setting. On top of the Performa 600. The old one, not the new one. Because I basically jammed all the parts for the Gateway 3s into a box. Oh, the reason why I didn't set it on the new Performa 600 is because it's sitting on the floor over in the quarantine area because I wasn't sure what would happen to it. Hold on. Got a neighbor asking me a question. Thank you, autocorrect, for making a nonsensical sentence. There we go. All right. So, yes, for anyone that joined late and is wondering about the Performa 600, the seller's going to send the correct keyboard, or so they say. I haven't received it yet. So it got a reprieve from getting returned. I ordered a cap kit for it from Console 5 when I placed a Console 5 order this weekend. Yeah, I was asking about a carpool, and it came up with some nonsensical yeah, whatever. Yeah. Jack says, does someone think it's a solved problem? Because it's not. One wonders how autocorrect cannot be bothered to get any better. Callan says, he who worries about his feedback ships a keyboard. Yes, that is pretty much it. Oh, Geoham was asking, they have eBay boxes of yours on their porch. No, they don't. But I meant to asked them something earlier today and forgot, and they were realizing that and sent me a message. Okay, let's see here. Yes, I have a fantastical filing system here for the Profile 3. Everything in the box. So here's the old display panel, which we will have to remove the board off of. It should transfer over. And it has the brackets on it. Anyways, the screen has scuffs on it and splotches. Let me see, is this the keyboard? Or the, okay, I think this is the board I was going to recap. Because it looks like I drew red X's over all the caps. But let me check this other one. Because one of these has a ripped pad on it. And one of them does not. And I am going to try to recap the board that does not have a ripped... Ah, okay, so this is the one I was going to recap because I did not rip off part of it like the Hulk. So I will set the rest of this down gently. I do not want to bend pins in the processor we're not using. And... oh, is that my neighbor? Okay, all right. Ah. Oh, the round thing. Oh, hi, Joseph. Welcome. Yes, that is the CPU cooler that Gateway used. It is actually quite heavy. It's not the golden orb, but it is actually quite close in weight. All right, so I'm going to... set that there and hopefully not knock it over. Oh, Gupum says a Reddit thread, but it looks like it probably has nothing to do with... Oh! Anyone's autocorrect adds an extra G to the end. Mine does other weird things of seemingly... my autocorrect likes to add extra letters to the end of certain words. Oh, Gupum says, oh, autocorrect related. No problem. Fool's Gold Orb. Funny. Alright. Let's turn on the smart plug for the soldering station. And I should probably turn the hot air on because this is a multi-layer board. And we'll turn that on. We'll warm up Claris here. And we'll turn on the smoke absorber. And put on the safety glasses that look like absolutely fashionable geek glasses. And let's go ahead and remove this lithium battery from the board, even though it's probably quite dead. Oh, It's a Maxell battery. Yes, Maxell, how did that battery manufacturing go for you with Apple and those PRAM batteries? There we go. We have disarmed it. Because that is an original battery and it's dead. Hardware Hacker's asking, you have a dog cow? Yes, I do. In fact, I have a dog cow sticker on top of it. Hi, Steve. Welcome. All right. So this is the motherboard for a Gateway Profile 3. We have... All right. We're going to count the number of caps I have to replace. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12... 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Uh-oh. Did I forget to order one? That's not good. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. 45 capacitors to replace. Yeah, Drew, I was, so what I was doing, the reason why there are full X's on them, Capcom says this is an image writer LQ's worth of caps. So the reason why there's X's on them is I was drawing the first slash as I identified all the caps of a certain value, and then once I added caps to the board for that value, I drew the second slash. And that is why when I found this one here that has no X on it, I am worried I forgot to order it. It's also possible I just forgot to mark it. It is a... Oh, I think it's a 22 microfarad. Oh, I think that's a value that's elsewhere on the board, so we're probably fine. All right. Yeah, I know. That's why I put all the caps in this box. Because, yeah, that was the only way to keep them straight. So, how did I pick caps for this board? Very carefully. Hardware Hacker says, where have I heard that name before? Action Retro. Action Retro. Oh, Steve gets it. Oh, So, the way I picked caps for this board is that I, I searched for the caps of the same capacitance, and then usually the same or one voltage step up for voltage. And then at that, I got 105 or 125 degrees C-rated caps for long life. And then if they were available, I ordered caps that were at least 5,000 hour caps. And then, given my druthers, I ordered caps from Japanese manufacturers, because I usually prefer using them. So, like, Rubicon, got Rubicon, I got Rubicon. Okay, these are from Kyocera, because I couldn't find anything else that would fit. Panasonic. Oh, these are from NCC, but those are polymer caps. I got electrolytic, except for a few exceptions. And then I got caps from Worth for the audio circuit, or at least what I think's the audio circuit. Or some of these I had to get from Worth just because of the height. But yep, these are some Kyocera polymer caps. And Nichicon, there we go. Now, unfortunately, because some of these caps are used everywhere on the board, I do not have the locations marked on these parts. So basically, I am going to go through the board and replace all the capacitors of a certain value. And I think I am going to start with, because I find them the most challenging. Jesse says that's a lot of caps. Yeah. It is a lot of caps. These I am finding the most intimidating. So therefore, also I think there may be one or two of these that are marked as alternate parts. Okay, so there's the polymer caps. And nope, that one's an alternate part, but I don't think it's a surface mount. Because there were a few that were, I wasn't quite sure the cap I wanted to use would quite fit for some reason. So I ordered a second part just to be sure. No, well, the red is not necessarily for polymer caps, because if it's a Worth surface mount cap, they use red ink on their electrolytics. Oh, what is going on with the red X marks? X marks the capacitors that I am replacing, which is all of them. Because several of these caps in this part of the board are confirmed leaking. So there's one there by the PCM-CIA card slots, although that could be card bus. There's one right there that I believe is starting to lose its bottom. If you can see how it's popped off the board and the bottom looks deformed, I think that's because it's leaking, and some of these were actually visibly bulged on the top, like those two there in the middle of the screen roughly. And if you notice, a lot of these caps elsewhere on the board are the same brand. So I decided that the best thing to do, if I was going to go through the trouble, was to at least replace all the caps of that brand. But the thing is, I usually have an all or nothing recap policy to make it easy to remember what I've done and not done. So it pretty much means I was going to do the entire board. But I could be convinced, because I haven't seen this board work, I could be convinced, and I may do this. I may replace the caps that I know are leaking first, and then try to power this up and see if we have any signs of life before I do the rest of it. Jesse says it's from bad cap era, best replace it all. Because I've not seen this board work. And I believe it's due to cap issues. So I may opt to do the replace these in the CPU power circuit and this one here because it's visibly bulging as well, and then attempt to power the board up, see what it does, and then move on. However, because these are so close to the DIMMs, and I am somewhat concerned that I might royally mess it up, I am going to go ahead and replace these two first to get it over with, get my fears unfounded, because the thing is, I have like I have like no room to, there's like no margin of error. Oh, you know, I don't think I'm gonna be able to replace those. I don't actually, now that I look at how wide my solder tip is, I don't think I have a soldering tip narrow enough to do those. Let me double check. Oh, actually, I may have a narrower tip. Let me see if I can get this in between there. Hardware Hacker says, it's filled to maximum capacity, so... Alright, this is not how you hold the tip that is in your soldering iron. However, to see if you can get... Okay, I have like practically zero margin of error there. Alright, so what I'm going to do... The Hardware Hacker says emphasis on cap. Yeah, maximum capacity, yes. Alright, let me find my Captain Tape. Captain Tape to the rescue! When we last saw our brave adventurer, he was somewhere on the workbench, and now he's somewhere else on the workbench. Uh-oh. Okay, I may opt to not replace those two capacitors now, but if I'm going to accidentally mess up, I would rather do it before I replace the rest of the capacitors, because they're going to need it too at some point. Alright, I'm just trying to find the Captain Tape. I think it went into hiding when I made the bad Captain Tape to the rescue joke. I should probably just buy another roll. Then I'll have 2 rolls to lose. Yeah, I should probably get some skinnier Captain Tape. Oh, that's a smart outlet. I have no idea why it's just floating around where it is. You know, I bet I could probably use copper tape. That would probably also protect the SIM slot. Alright, we'll use some copper tape, because I see where it is. I mean, do I know that this will protect the SIM slots? No. There we go. But it should at least keep me from twist and pull. Oh, well, actually, this is why I'm doing this. Okay. So now I need to remove the tip from my soldering iron. So I am going to power it down because I do not know where the silicon pad is. And I am going to do the following. Yes, I did just do what you might think I just did. There we go. The important thing is I do not twist. I do not like to twist them. Good night, Francois. I push the cap down from the top to relieve strain from the board, and I cut the cap. But I do not twist it. I don't like the twist method. Especially on a board like this where it looks like the cap has not started to leak yet, so it probably has a firm purchase on the board still. I do not like twisting them in that case. And yes, I do know the polarity stripe was on this side of the board. Now I'm just trying to get the plastic off the board. And that will leave the legs, which I will use some desoldering braid. Because yeah, the board is marked with the positive polarity. Yeah, the twist method works well if it's corroded already and the solder joints are weakened. In this case, the solder joints are fairly decent still and not weakened. All right, while we wait for me to be able to change the soldering tip, update. So on Dave's stream, I started to recap the 2SI power supply, and I got 2 caps in. There's one of the 2 caps. And then I realized that the daughter board had so much corrosion on it from electrolyte that I am going to replace the insides of the power supply for now until Colin of This Does Not Compute and Kai Robinson finish some recreations of the PCBs in the 2SI power supply. They're not done yet. So I ordered from a major PCB supplier in the world that is not a sponsor of the channel boards, 5 of them, and well, I'll probably have them in like 2 weeks. And I picked said major supplier of PCBs in the world because they let me prepay the tariffs so that it was not a mystery what the total would be for the shipment. So, there you go. That is not letting me grab that tip. Anyways, assuming the boards are correctly manufactured and work, I will probably have some spares of the boards, which I may sell at cost to recoup the money I paid to have PCBs made. So, and if you've seen This Does Not Compute's video on the 2SI power supply, yeah, I ordered the PCB, the boards to make the KMac vintage power supply replacement, because that's really all there is for the 2SI power supply at the moment is pretty much that board. So I'll there we go. I got it out. I would kind of prefer to have replaced it with something a bit different. Oh, no, it's not hot. If you saw me grab it and release it, I let go real quick because in my brain I thought I hadn't let it cool down enough. In reality, the part that was in the handle was not hot at all. It was just a reflex. So anyways, I ordered those boards, and I'll order the parts to actually put in the power supply closer to when they come in. But I very much have the inspiration to maybe design a better board to go in the power supply, because there's a few things I don't like about that particular design. Mainly that it uses a no-name power supply from Amazon that is great as long as that seller continues to sell the power supply. I think I would prefer to have something a little more name brand in it. And I think my other main concern is I would kind of wish the board had for the AC power the so that you can still use the same connector that's on the power supply because of the way it works, and then the AC would be routed in the PCB. And this iron is wow. Wow, I have really gotten the solder braid all tangled. Oh, I bet I know something about this board. Shows up on PSU replacement of regrets. Who comes up with these names? Yeah. So, anyways, I think I'm going to have to turn my soldering iron temperature up. I bet this is lead-free solder. That is probably why I'm having trouble. If I can remember how you change the temperature of this station. There we go. Okay. Hold on. Every time I try to change the temperature of this station, hold please. I gotta pull up the manual for the solder station because my only complaint about the FX951. It's seemingly missing an enter button to enter the temperature that you set. Okay. Oh, is that what I did? Okay. No, that's not what I did. Okay, hold please. Parameter settings. So insert the card, press the pound button. Oh wait, no, that's for the tip offset. No, I don't want to do that. I want to set the temperature. Change the temperature. Insert the control card. Press the button to set the desired figure. When the desired figure is displayed, press the... Oh. Okay. Insert the card. Okay. Oh, was this supposed to hold that? Okay. I don't know. I'm trying. I am trying. And it's flashing at me like it's waiting for me to... Alright, I'm going to power cycle the station because it is confused. Okay, so you insert the control card, and you hit up arrow, and then the asterisk to enter. Oh, maybe it wouldn't take the temperature because I was entering an invalid temperature. What is the temperature range of the station? Alright, hold please. I'm trying to figure out why I could not set the temperature to what I wanted to. Oh, because it was like just slightly too much. There we go. Alright, I have turned the temperature up. Now, let's see if I can get the old solder off the board. I'll add some flux. Okay, extra temperature is not helping. Let me add some heat. Alright, sorry for missing all the suggestions on how to use my station. Alright, so I'm going to add some heat to this area of the board because obviously, or maybe not obviously, but I was having trouble getting that. Alright, I will cover the CPU socket when I have a chance. I have yet to drip solder into a CPU socket. Hopefully you realize that a request like that is usually going to make me do something like this. Alright. Because I am more likely to spill isopropyl alcohol. Alright, well, I won't deny that that can't happen, but I am more concerned about the DIMM sockets right now than I am the CPU socket. Alright, so I have tried to add some heat to the board. I am hoping that will... Okay, I think the Alright, we got one leg off. I may have to put the other tip on to get these legs off. There we go. There we go. I just needed to add some fresh solder. So maybe those caps actually were starting to leak. That's embarrassing. All right. All right. I'll have to fix that later. I'll have to put a bigger tip on the iron to get that braid off. I should have left the big tip on to desolder. Working well. All right. Let's. Okay. All right. So I'm going to remove this tip here and put the bigger one on to try to get the solder and legs off the board. And then I will put this one back on so that I can solder on the new capacitors. And I apologize for not getting your IT crowd reference because, spoiler alert, I don't pay for a lot of TV. I have Amazon Prime. At the moment, I have Paramount Plus. And that's only because Paramount Plus was 99 cents for 2 months. For Prime Day, I'll keep it while it's 99 cents. Oh, they, and in fact, it seems like most days I'm actually probably watching YouTube. Just trying to catch up on what I miss when I live stream. Yeah, I know it's not current. If I can figure out what streaming service it's on, I might. Well, assuming it's one I'm paying for, I might catch it. And you know, actually, if I really wanted to, although as much as I like Comcast, I don't know why I would want to, but I think their streaming service might be included with my internet. which is odd. I thought they usually tied their streaming service to cable, and I subscribe to 0 cable channels. But then again, hi, Chris, welcome. I am having fun with desoldering. There we go. I just swapped tips. I've got the big tip on while I desolder things. So hopefully that'll let me get this there we go. Solder braid off the board, and it did. I was afraid I'd soldered something together that wasn't supposed to be soldered together, which is the only reason I was desoldering in that area to begin with. Oh yeah, this is... Here we go. Okay. Now we're working with power tools again. We have rejoined the 21st century. There we go. Oh, Chris says, MimTest here, and they're upgrading a few PCs and running MimTest. Woohoo! Capcom says, my latest PC is Rambus based for some dumb reason. Was that dumb reason because Intel said we would all love Rambus? And the performance would outweigh any and all royalties that made the rims cost more. Yeah, you'll love the extra cost. Hardware Hacker said, it's been said 3 times a famous YouTuber should likely appear. Chris says, Rambus was almost as popular as iAntium. Yeah. Jack says, what did I miss? I've been eaten alive by getting eaten alive by mosquitoes. Well, you missed the fun I had trying to remove the legs from those 2 capacitors. So now, let's see if I can get these capacitors on the board. There's one. And 2. I can find some... think all right, so let's do this. Is that copper foil? Yeah, I couldn't find my Captain tape, so I'm using copper tape to keep from melting the DIMM socket. I mean, it should work, right? hardware hacker says Justin accidentally fuses it to the board. Curses, foiled again. I have to say that thought hadn't crossed my mind, and now I'm a bit concerned. Alright, so there we go. There's that capacitor, and I once again got solder where I didn't want it. I'll take care of that momentarily. Let me get the other capacitor in. And then I will change tips to get the other side of the capacitors. Because there's no way I'm going to get this tip in. Right, there we go. There's that. Let me get this solder that I have accidentally bridged here. Probably add some flux. I'm asking myself, why did I torture myself with doing these first? And that's because I knew they would be some of the trickiest because of their close proximity to the DIMMs. All right, I'll make sure I didn't bridge that. All right. So now, yeah, these caps are really close to that DIMM slot. And I think I have enough evidence that says that they were probably starting to leak. Oh, although, in other news, I haven't managed to knock the small thing of isopropyl alcohol over yet. Which is important because I did want to check something under the board here. I think those caps might have been starting to leak, so it was probably just as well that I replaced them. Comcast strikes again. Up. Why didn't they turn them 90 degrees? I have no idea. Alright, I am changing soldering tips. Because this one is too big to fit. So I'm just going to have to... Alright, and I'm also going to turn this to where I can easily reach things. So it will be off camera. I do apologize, but this is one of those areas where I don't have a lot of work to room to work. Oh. And my soldering iron is unhappy after swapping tips. Because I didn't get it. Hold, please. I didn't get it pushed in all the way. There we go. Now it should be pushed in. What should you hold? Isopropyl alcohol. Because I'm probably going to manage to knock mine over before the evening's over. We'll see who can manage to not spill theirs the longest. It'll be the world's most boring competition. All right. Now, hopefully, all right, I'm having trouble getting solder. That is the worst looking solder joint. All right. All right, I think I got them soldered. I hope. And I hope I didn't bridge anything. I hope. Well, I think the copper tape largely did its job. All right, let's oh, I'm gonna let that cool down. I am going to check something here just to make sure I didn't get solder where I didn't want it. Oh, thank you to Hardware Hacker for a $1.99 super chat. Yeep. Yes, I hope the solder largely did its job because those are probably decoupling caps for the RAM. If I had to figure, I'm just making sure I didn't bridge anything here. Oh, that's oh. Actually, it'd be this. Hold on, I had the probe touching where it probably shouldn't have been. Oh, that's the same pin. I don't know if I'm even on camera. Oh, that's largely not where I was working. Oh, those caps are actually kind of in the gap of the... Alright. Oh, that was the same pin. Okay, I don't... Jack's asking, why does the XP leaderboard show YouTube channel names, but the chat shows usernames? Carter Hacker says, probably should have used a metal desktop accessory card blanker thingy. Alright, we're going back to my usual preferred soldering tip for the rest of the soldering, because it's not so close to a DIMM slot. Alright. I also will eventually learn how to snap those in. Alright. Good one. Good one. All right. So now we have 2 capacitors replaced and 43 left to go. We are blazing through this. All right. Make sure I don't have any flux down in those SIM slots. The only reason I did that now is because the rest of the caps I'm going to replace before we test are on the clear other end of the board. That was contact cleaner. It was quick drying. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't any flux in the memory slot, because that's something I'd be liable to forget and then get flux all over my DIMMs. Anyways, we have 2 professionally replaced, well, pseudo-professionally replaced caps. Alright, so let's go to the clear other end of the board. And we'll start with these 3 caps, because they're all the same value, I believe, and those are, these are TEAPO brand caps, TEAPO. Some people might confuse them with cheapo brand caps, and that probably explains why Gateway's contract manufacturer picked them. $680, 10 volts. All right. Let me see here. What did I order? Okay, those are not them. Those are not them. Doubt those are them. 680. These might actually be the replacements there. Those are not them. Those are 22s. Some brands clearly label, or some brands, the value is clearly labeled in the description, and some I have to try to read the part number. Okay, these must be them. I ordered 10. Jack says, I didn't know there's a Mauser warehouse in your basement. Hi, David. David says, did this turn into a component sorting stream already? Sort of. There are 43 caps left to go on this board. So for these Tipo brand caps that are 680 microfarad 10 volt, I have these lovely Rubicon 16 volt 680 microfarad caps that are pretty much the same size. So beautiful. 2 hours, 8 minutes in, and 2 caps replaced. Thank you, Jack, for keeping the record. Yes. All right, so there are at least 5 caps of this value on the board. I am going to go ahead and replace all 5 because they are actually all on the top side of the board. And those caps are going to be these 3 here and these 2 here. So I might as well just go ahead and try to replace them all. And for this, I am going to first see if Claris, the CalDog desoldering station, can take care of the solder. And I just spilled the isopropyl alcohol. Apparently I wasn't holding it for myself. All right. Let's face it, I wanted this to be a multi-stream repair, not really. Actually, oh, I didn't even test the caps I just removed. Well, oh, that's right, because I cut them in half to remove them. Never mind. Alright, so I'm going to add some solder. Because I have no idea if this is leaded solder, lead-free solder. Could be corroded solder because the caps might be leaking. So I'm going to add some leaded solder. Which, if it's also leaded solder on the board, then great. And if it's lead-free solder, hopefully this will work to maybe reduce the melting point of the solder. This also will probably help to get a little heat in the board, because these caps are on some very large voltage and ground planes. And if this doesn't work, then I will probably get the hot air gun out and add some extra heat. So there we go. Oh, that might have done it. Maybe. Okay, I'll probably have to add some more solder and try again. doubt any of these caps are going to budge. Nope. 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 Actually, you know what I probably should do? Oh, I don't have that much. Alright, never mind. Yeah, really am hoping to get these caps out because there's not a lot of vertical clearance in the case in this spot, so I really need to be able to mount the caps flush. As opposed to like cutting the legs and soldering the new ones on. Well, there we go. I think I got one off. Oh, there we go. We got one out. Yay! I'm at least hoping to get enough caps on that we can test this board to make sure a recap's going to fix it. That would at least be my goal for tonight. Because 45 caps is a lot of caps. And the pheasants rejoiced. Yay! Oh, hi, Socket Wrench. Welcome. Yeah, 3 little caps. Ah. Well, actually, I've only replaced 2 and removed a 3rd. Oh, there we go. I think that one is... I think that one's free. Almost. There we go. Now I can probably get this other one out because I've got leverage. There we go. Got those 3 caps out. Let me check the vias. Alright, well, might need some extra clearing. Alright, let's see if I can get these other 2 out. Alright, go ahead. Add solder to that. Let's go ahead and add solder. Add solder. And this via needs a little extra clearing help. Oh, all right. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. Add 4 and 5. All right. Confirm that. Did I get it out? Yeah, I did. All right. We confirm all 5 of these are, in fact, the same value, to which I just promptly dropped one on the floor. There we go. Yep. 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 And I'm pretty sure that last one was. All right. So let's go ahead and put. Oh. Put replacements in. There's 1. 2. 3, 4, 5. I think I ordered 10, probably for the quantity discount. I got a via that needs cleared still. Oh, there it is. Yeah, there's still solder in there. All right, let's see that. There we go. 5 brand new caps, and then I'll check to make sure there's no more of that value, and then we'll go on to the next value. But I think that does look like all of that value. Alright, so let's go ahead and bend the leads gently. Alright, I'm going to get the side of these caps that has the smaller pad first. I'm also going to add some flux. To help the solder flow. I'm also going to add a little bit of extra heat back into the board. As you can see, the size of the ground and voltage planes around these capacitors. Plus, no telling what's inside, but I think it's pretty clear these are bottom layer pads. So if you like it when I work on these old computers, even the old gateways, because you remember the ads growing up. This is Gateway Country. Yeah, don't forget to smash that like button. Or like that smash button, or whatever. Subscribe and turn on notifications, so you know when I go live next. Because we're always having fun with some old computer. Be it Gateway, or Apple, or Compaq, or Atari. Alright. So So, just pushing each cap, making sure I've got it in flush. Because the top of this board does not have a lot of vertical clearance. Alright, those caps look like they're on pretty well. So we'll go ahead and get the other legs. And there we go. Should be good to go there. Alright, so and as I replace each value, then I'm going to pull out the capacitor tester. And actually, we'll see how good or bad the capacitors of that given value were. First, I'm going to make sure that I got all the caps. Alright, those are fairly decently flat on the board. I don't think we'll have a problem there. In fact, I don't think I have them any further away than some of the factory caps. And confirming, yep, I got all the stripes the right way. So there we go. So, excluding the one I dropped on the floor, Yeah, I can't comment on the cost effectiveness of what they did. On the one hand, mostly through holes makes it easy for me. Oh, wow. So this cap is rated at 680 microfarads, 10 volts, and that measured 970.8. I have heard, I'm not an EE, so I cannot confirm, but I have heard that when caps go bad, they can read over tolerance. 974.8 microfarads. Wow, that's pretty high too. Either that or these caps were so cheap that they're more than plus 20% tolerance. $989.6. Wow. Jack says maybe they were so cheap they were mislabeled. Ooh, that's a scary thought. 1,058. I'm hoping that this isn't a sign that they were all actually 1,000 microfarad caps and I just replaced them with 680s. And the one I dropped on the floor, for thoroughness, because someone would probably ask, all right. Did any of these caps have signs of leakage? No. Not to say they weren't bad, though. 1,053. All right, well, I do have the other gateway profile board, but I think this is a sanity check. Oh, it's got the same TIFO brand caps on it. Oh yeah, and they're marked 680s as well. So all right, we'll set that there in case I need to compare. Were they 85 degrees C part? Well, actually, I think they're marked 105. Now, whether I believe that is another question. They are allegedly 105 degrees C parts. 680, 10 volts. So I replaced them with 105 degree parts, 680, 16 volts. Okay, so that is the 5 caps there. Before I forget, all right. Did this board work before I started recapping? No, it did not. Okay. I do need to mark something here so I don't forget to replace it when I get to it. But I'm only going to put one red mark on it. So I remember it's the one that I forgot to mark. Alright, I also marked the bag of parts that I put 5 on. So if I go through them and wonder why I had extras. Alright, so the next ones that I am going to do, because I'm trying to do these in some semblance of an order that might let me test this board. I think I'm going to do the 1,000 microfarad Oh, hold on. Yeah, there's 1,000 microfarad, 6.3 volt caps that are definitely leaking. So they are here, here, and here. Now let me see if there's any others of those caps on this board. I think there are. Oh yeah, there are. There are also 2 more of those here and here, and one of them is leaking, or it's bulged. And then there's another one here near the chipset. So we'll go ahead and get that one as well. Because I'm fairly certain those are not helping the board state. And then I think I'll have to change the two 2025s. And then maybe the board might actually be in a state where we might venture a power up. Because some of these other caps are look to be in good shape, at least for a test. And some of these caps over here, I'm fairly sure are in the audio circuit, so I'm not as worried about them. But anyways, so we're going to get these ones and this one. Because I'm getting same values, then we'll come back for these, because some of these are bulged as well. And then that also means I gotta get these 2 and this one. So that is a total of 6 caps of that value. So I'm gonna get these 3 here. Oh, let me first find the caps that replace those. So those are going to be, I think, 1,000 microfarad. $10 volts. That must be these ones here. Oh, okay. I must have had problems finding a 10-volt cap that would fit. So I did get 6.3-volt caps again. But these are long-life Rubicons, as opposed to the short-life TPO caps. Oh, that's going to need some fresh solder. We'll get these 3 down here, and then we'll get the 3 in the top of the board. So let me just use my soldering iron because it'll fit better there. I got one. There we go. I think that got it. All right. So we should have these three here. One. Two. And this one's actually bulged slightly. And oh, that one's not loose yet. Hi, Kibbs with Retro. Welcome. Oops. Oh, good. Got that solder blob off the board before I forgot about it. All right, let's see here. All right, I believe that is now free. All right, so let's check these three. These three potential troublemakers. Hi, Dave. Welcome. Right. All right, so this one looks normal. Whoa! 2,000 microfarads. 1896. That's almost twice of what it's labeled. Wow. Okay, now this one's bulging. Oh! Haha! Good old TPO caps. All right, well, this bulging one is in-circuit leaky. In fact, okay, so if my camera would focus, it's subtle. It is subtle. But yeah, there we go. It depends on the angle, but there you go. I think you can... All right. So we had our first bad cap. Bad caps, bad caps. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Or when I come for you? Ha! 1570 microfarads. Ah, underachiever. All right. So I am replacing these based on the labeled ratings because that's all I could really do. If there was some unspoken trust us, these caps are like actually the value you need, then, well, there's not really much I can do. Because it's not like I have schematics to show that Gateway was calling for a cap of what these are reading. So I just have to go on what they were marked. Will says, hello, I am just out, not Justin. Yes. Oh, sorry. I have a fever and battling a flu right now. Ooh, I hope you get better. Don't know what I'm saying. I thought that was clever. These caps are, yeah, just way out. Tipo caps. When you want caps that are cheap, not necessarily correct, ask your board fabrication partner about Tipo today. Warning: may cause trouble 20 years later. Harder Hacker says, don't miss my bad caps comment. What's it gonna do when they leak their goo? Oh, that's good. Uh, all right, so all right, that should be those three in this part of the board. I'll get the. I'm going to reflow these legs because they don't look quite the way I want them to. A little bit of flux. All right, very good. All right, so there's those three. Now we got three more of these values up here in the. Whoop, hold on. I apparently didn't press the cap down when I put it in. Oh, all right. There we go. That's better. Oh, let me. All right. There we go. There we go. Three caps there. Now let's get the three that are up in the CPU, or what I presume is the CPU power delivery section. And I know, I think two of them. Actually, all three of them look like they are not really flush with the board. So something tells me they may all be in-circuit leaky. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and add solder because if I had a cap list for this board, then there's a chance I would have just removed all the caps and then recapped it. And since I have a spare one of these boards, I may, if this works, I may make a cap chart. All right, let's add more solder again. All right. That one's loose, I think. Ooh, that one's out. Ooh, that one's confirmed leaked. I'll have to actually. Ooh, these two are confirmed leaky. I'll actually have to clean the board before I put the new caps in under them. This one is another confirmed leaky cap. There's no need to test these. I'll show you the underside. They were about to jet set off my board, I think, if I'd powered this up any longer. There we go. Ooh. Ew. 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 Yeah. Friends don't let friends typo. Yeah, needless to say, what's the phrase? There's no sense beating a dead horse. Well, there's probably no sense measuring a dead cap. Oh, wow. It still has 54 microfarads. Ah! That might be useful in something. I was for sure that cap was going to be, like, totally gone. 61 microfarads. Of course, the ESR is completely unreasonable, but 40, 49. Ah. Yeah. Needless to say, though, you can see the brown crud on the board. If you can't, I'm going to zoom in, and then you'll be able to. There you go. So, just because a cap reads something doesn't mean it's not needing replaced. So for all those TPO caps that were reading well in excess of their supposed capacitance, those three caps were way off low, and I suspect probably low enough that, of course, we got all these other caps in the power supply, CPU power area. Or it could be, I don't know if this is the CPU power or if this is like the power supply for the board. It's one of the two, because there's a lot of circuitry here. I don't think you should power this on with any of the original caps. Yeah, I probably shouldn't. But I would at least like to know if something's going to happen. But yeah, I should probably recap it first. Alright, I think I got all the goo off under that one. Hardware Hacker says, what could possibly go wrong? Yeah, I am making good progress now that I got those 2 surface mounts done. Well, and I guess if I don't finish tonight, I can always continue Thursday. There we go. That should be good. I know. I mean, we had to do Wheel of Regrets too, because I had some really good potential regrets. I've been and I did save some for Thursday. So for comparison, this is one of the new caps. So these are like plus or minus 20%. So that is in spec. So I'm not worried about that. Just thought I would show you one of the new caps for comparison. 900 microfarads is way closer to spec than 50. Hardware Hacker says, I may have some eBay regrets. Yeah, there was one I was tempted to bring downstairs, but only because the eBay seller turned it really quickly. So quickly, in fact, that I had it next day. But I decided that it was going to have to wait because it wasn't already downstairs. Yes, the eBay seller was in Virginia, if anyone's wondering how. Because normally I don't buy anything that makes it next day, even if the seller tries their hardest. Yeah. Jack says good, not plus or minus 80%. Actually, I think those were even more than plus or minus 80%. I think those ones I just tested were like were like minus 90%. Oh, the other ones I guess were like plus or minus 80%. Yeah. Tipo, when we give you a tolerance and then ignore it during manufacturing. All right. Carter Hacker. I really want to start my channel off with the 2CI 100 megahertz PowerPC upgrade card plus Blue SCSI V2 plus RAM upgrade. Cool. Oh. All right, there we go. 6 more caps are placed. Oh, I got a just realized there's a cap that I removed and didn't put back in. And that cap is going to be in the bottom of the box, most certainly. All right, hold please while I see if I can find the cap that... maybe it's not all the way in the bottom. Might be... Oh, that's the hard drive. All right, let me see if I can find it. I obviously need to replace it with the rest of it. If you're wondering why I'm looking for it, instead of checking the other box, it's because I removed it because it was hard to read. I may have to check the other board anyways. Oh, okay. Hold please while I try to read the cap. Oh, it's 116. Okay. All right. Don't know what I did with it. It's probably in the bottom of the bag that this one was in. Oh. That's probably why I can't find it. It's probably on the floor because I dropped it out of the bag when I pulled the board out. Okay. Let me go ahead and get that value just so I can not worry about forgetting it again. All right, so it's a 116, which probably means I ordered a 25. Oh, it's probably just as well. I think it's the only one of its size. I ordered 2 caps, but I often will order an extra cap. So the fact that I ordered 2 probably means there was only 1. So let me go ahead and get that cap replaced. I did go with the slightly taller cap because I couldn't find one that was that short. All right. So we'll go ahead and get this, and then we'll get on to another value that's crustier. There we go. All right, now we won't forget it. IDE cable should still be able to go in without any trouble, even though I had to order a taller cap because it was originally one of these short ones, which I just wasn't able to find a cap in stock that was that short, that was 100 microfarads. Although if I'd realized the TPO ones were twice the value, and I might have seen if I could find a different one. All right. So we now have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 new caps in. And I think the next value that I should replace, if I look at caps on the Bulge-O-Matic scale as to how likely they look like they want to launch off into space, I think I should get the 220 25 microfarads. And oh boy, are there a bunch of them. So we have, I think of that value alone, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, 15. I think there's one tucked in behind the power jack. Actually, I'm not sure what the one is behind the power jack, so I guess I'll go ahead and start with it, because I think it's one of them. Because I ordered 17 of that cap. Yeah, I ordered 17 of it. normally at that point, I would be ordering the quantity discount if it was 25. I believe that cap, the quantity discount was not 25. It was probably 50 or 100. Which is probably why I ordered 17 to give me 2 spares. Or I'm going to find that there's a 16th one somewhere on the board. But I may have ordered 2 spares. All right, so let's see what this one is. It's hiding out behind the power jack. Yes, it is a 220 25 microfarad, just as I thought. All right, so we will get it. We will replace these in, like, batches. We'll go ahead and test this one because it's all by its lonesome self. Huh. It's actually in spec. To replace these, I went with Kyocera caps because I couldn't find one of the Japanese brands in a size that would fit the size constraints of some of the caps. So I just went with Kyocera. Yeah, that one was in spec. That was surprising. Possibly because it was near the bottom of the board. So heat rises, so that one was actually still good. That's the only thing I can think of. That capacitor wasn't baked like the ones at the top of the board. Now, I will say my capacitor brand preferences for recapping are not a commentary on that other cap brands aren't good. I'm sure the Kyocera is just fine. I just usually prefer Rubicon, Panasonic, Nichicon, some of them before Kyocera. It's just this board has a number of caps that have size constraints, such as these 4 have to fit in that space. This one here had to fit in that space. And given what was in stock, Kyocera was the one that had the best life, because I think these are long life caps. I'm pretty sure they are. And they're 105 degrees C rated. They'll be fine. But, hey, at least they're not Tipo brand. Oh, yeah. At least they're not Tipo brand. So there we go. We got one. And I'm just going to work my way up the board. And let's see, these 3 are not those. Those are, so I guess the next ones are going to be these 4 here by the PCMCIA card slots. I think they're all for the same value. But because I'm not entirely sure, because I can't read 2 of them. I think I was sure enough when I ordered caps that they were the same that I didn't remove one to confirm. But now that I'm actually in recapping mode, I'm going to remove the two I can't read, make sure they are the same, and then I'll remove the other two. And in fact, I'm going to remove them. If I can manage it, I'm going to try to remove them one at a time. Although I think I'm going to end up having to remove them both. Yeah. So anyways, yeah. The important thing is I'm replacing all these TPO caps because some of them are already leaking. This is the era where caps had problems. All right, so these caps I think need another round of fresh solder and desoldering. So I think really the important thing is I just get all these old cruddy caps off. I have a feeling these 4 caps are probably going to be fine. They're still kind of low enough on the board that I don't think they got. Oh well. Oh, they'd have been above the CPU heatsink. Well, that changes things a little bit. Okay, these may actually start to show signs of poor caps. All right, that's a 220/25. Oh, I didn't get the. I think that's still got solder on one of the legs. And yep, that one's a 220/20. Oh, that's a VIA. All right. same. And there we go. All right, so there's those 4 caps. All right, before we replace, let's rank them. Place your guesses in the chat. Oh, it's in spec. It's in spec. It's in spec. It's in spec. Wow. Okay, I think we'll get a different story when we get to the caps at the top of the board, because some of them are actually bulging. Guess maybe these are in a spot of the board where maybe heat, because I'm sure heat has something to do with the caps degrading. And I guess the one thing is, even though the CPU is right here, the fan is blowing out of the case, because there is a fan opening right above the CPU on the back of the case. So I guess I might have underestimated how well the fan worked. All right. Let me make sure these are all flush. Excellent. Excellent. And that. Oh, and that one's still cattywampus. There we go. There we go. Let me get those other 4 legs soldered, and then we'll have 4 more caps replaced. All right. Here we've replaced 5 of these. I'm gonna reflow these. Quite like the way they look. There we go. All right, that's better. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. I think the next batch are these 6. I believe they are all those same caps. As far as I can tell. There's 2 that are harder to see than the others. So, all right, let's get them. I'm fairly sure that despite the fact that I just replaced 5 of these caps of this type and or size and voltage rating, and they were all tested good, I'm fairly sure that we're going to have a different story up here in this area of the board. All right. I think this is possibly the power supply of the board. Given the number of caps, the big planes, and I'm not sure where else the power supply could be, honestly. All right. I'm not convinced those desoldered, so I'm going to take a second pass with fresh solder. All right. Oh, I think I'm going to need to clean my desoldering gun. Yep. Those are not all. I got one out. Looks like it's one of the slightly bulgy ones. Alright, so maybe now that I got one out, I can wiggle a couple more out. Let's see, I don't think that's one that one doesn't look like it's leaked. Maybe I can get the caps out and then I'll clear the through holes the old-fashioned way. Yeah, there's those four out. Oh, I lost a pin. Alright. Okay, I'm going to have to pause for cleaning. Yeah, I'll clean it. I didn't want to clean it because stream will probably be over by the time I get it clean because I gotta let it cool down first. Alright, we'll test the four I got out. In spec, I can't believe it. Well, oh, there we go. This one is slightly bulged. It is definitely out of spec. So there was one of those. Okay, this one we lost the pin. Or most of the pin. Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can... I think I might have shorted the probes together. Oh! Well, that one actually is bulged. So it might have actually been leaky. It's not... That one's in spec, so... One that was out of spec and one that possibly was out of spec, although it could be the leg. I could be disconnected internally because I broke the leg. Alright. As much as I don't normally like to do this over a paper towel, it will make cleanup go faster. Or, I don't like to do it over a paper towel if it's still warm. But then oh yeah. That would be why I'm having trouble. There's the filter. Let's see here. There's the metal piece that goes in front of the filter, and now here's the solder artwork. Coming soon to a cut rate museum near you. It'll be at the Museum of... I'm not sure that really counts as art. Or you could call it the... Well, it's art if you think it is. Yeah, I should have probably cleaned that a while ago. All right. All right, so we'll put the spring back in. And I've got the metal piece. And let me see if I have any filters. I should. But the parts for these are getting hard to get because I think the manufacturer might have discontinued it. I don't think that's the filter I'm looking for. Those are the big filters. Them, I hope. Oh, no, those appear to be the big filters too. Yep, those are the big filters. Alright, I guess I'm going to have to very carefully reuse the old filter because I don't have any more of the small filters. And I think last time I tried looking for them, I don't think I found anywhere that had them in stock. I probably need the little pin piece, which luckily I found what it was on the floor. Alright. Alright, let me get rid of the artwork here. Yeah, I know it's getting late. It's quarter till 12. I'm gonna see if I can get these last 6 caps. Just don't want to get old powdered solder everywhere, so I'm changing gloves. Oh well. Alright. Oh, that'll work. Oh, Carter Hacker says also my phone's down to 14%. All right, well, hopefully we'll be done here soon. Let me clean the little spot of solder pieces there. Clean that up. And then let me run the cleaning rod through, and then hopefully we'll get these last capacitors. Ooh. Oh, wow. We are... Okay, well, there is something clogged. All right. Yeah, we got a good clog. There we go. All right. Someday I will get a new desoldering station. All right. That sounds much better. I was afraid that we were done for the evening by the magic of the heater was kaput, although alright, it's quite possible that there was a leg or something stuck in there, but I think I got it out. Alright. Yeah, it sounds like it's working now. Oh yeah, much better. stubborn here on this cap. This one, though, is loose. I think it's loose, it's just the leads are bent. Kind of tells me that some of these caps might have been hand soldered. All right, and we got these last two out, so let's measure them. We'll get 6 caps in, and then we'll call it a stream. We are recapping a Gateway Profile 3. It's an all-in-one. In spec. Yep. And in spec. Weird. No rhyme or reason as to why some are in spec and some are out of spec. Alright, so let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which should leave us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for later. And I see there's 4 more of this value over in the audio circuit. So we'll start with those Thursday. But we'll at least get I think getting these caps will be a good stopping point. Because these are one of them was one was definitely leaky and one probably was leaky. I suspect that might be why the leg broke, as it was starting to go bad. There we go. Heck, no, Console 5 does not have a cap kit for this computer. I had to make my own. Why I was ordering some cap kits from Console 5 so that I had time to search Mauser for the boards that I had no other choice. Right? Very nice. All those caps are nice and flush. which is important because at the top of the board there's not a lot of clearance for the case. Especially for the caps that are used at the top of the board, size was definitely a driving factor. All right, there we go. Next says this board must have $25 of through-hole caps. I would have to go back and look at the invoice from Mauser to tell you. But yeah, it probably was 25 to 30 bucks. That's for sure. Alright, so I'm going to All right, there we go. So now we have all new caps up there. That looks so much better. Started to go over here. So we still have these four more of that value to go. We'll do those Thursday. We got new caps there. We got some new caps down here. We got that one hiding there. And then we did get these two surface mounts. So yeah, I got a lot done tonight. So how many caps did we get tonight? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 little caps. And there's 45 on the board, so oh, we're more than halfway done. Yeah, that's pretty good progress. So there we go. We're more than halfway done. But this is where we're going to have to stop for the evening on the Profile 3 motherboard. But anyways, there we go. Until Thursday, this board will safely sit on my workbench. I don't think I have anything planned between now and then. But anyways, yeah. So I'm glad you all joined me for tonight. Glad we could start to get this gateway computer back up and running. Get some new caps on it, and hopefully that'll fix the problem with the logic board. I have found enough bad caps in the right places where I'm thinking that might have been the problem, is bad caps. So anyways, don't forget to smash that like button if you like it when I try to get these old computers up and running. Oh, Hardware Hacker says 13%. All right, I'm glad we're wrapping the stream before your phone battery died. So yeah, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you know when I go live next. Thursday, we'll continue on the Gateway Profile 3, get the rest of the caps in, and then we will test the motherboard, and then hopefully it works, and we'll get the new LCD in. So with that, I think that's where I'm going to wrap the stream before it gets super late. Yeah, smash that like button before your phone battery dies. Yes. Glad you had fun, Dave. You're welcome, Callan. Glad you all could join me here. So I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thanks for hanging out, being cool in the chat, enjoying some potential regrets, which will turn into projects you'll see later on the channel. And, yeah. And thanks again to Hardware Hacker for the super chat. So without further ado, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Take care and God bless. Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. Don't forget to smash that like button. And if you've liked what you've seen, subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss the next video or live stream. And as always, thank you for all your support. I hope to see you next time. And until then, take care.